Salute to you all. The brave never fall. Self-love through freedom and connection. So feel free to connect to the brave never fall on these social media platforms. If you find anything of value in this following podcast, hit that like button, subscribe and share, and support the brave and bold tribe growing one purposeful soul at a time. How are you feeling? Take a moment to do a self-check-in for yourself. How are you feeling mentally? How are you feeling emotionally? How are you feeling physically? How are you feeling spiritually? Are you feeling balanced? Are you still journeying on an intentional, purposeful path? How are you feeling? Balancing yourself is a healthy daily practice that will reliably keep you in harmony with your entire mind, body, heart, and soul. Clear your mind. Take a moment of silence for yourself right now in the moment. You are here now. How are you feeling? Once you've overcome the mountain, be prepared to face the volcano. To grow is to be challenged with situations that will make you confident, wise, and powerful. Confidence, overcoming. They go hand in hand. They're partners. And they're guided by trust. When you trust yourself, that gives you instant, in the moment confidence. And what you do with that confidence is up to you. You can apply it to so many different things in life. The goal is to get there and grab the confidence out of yourself and do something with it that contributes to you pursuing a life of meaningful purpose. confidence and overcoming things, it may look like a struggle, but it's an investment. You're investing in you, in your future. You're making a deal with your future self, and you're saying, I'm going to make sure I have everything I need so my future self is prepared and ready to take on bigger challenges that this version of me is not ready for yet. So that confidence is huge. Self-love is all about confidence. It's about trust. It helps with your discipline, your control, the respect you have for yourself. You can go out now and create and take what you need from life instead of hoping it falls in your lap. You become a person of high quality, high value, and then you get the gift of getting the same in return from other people, places, and things. But it starts with trust. The nemesis. The one person, place, or thing, or many people, places, and things that will always be there to challenge you in life. Too often, the biggest, darkest, formidable nemesis in our lives is usually ourselves. Battling internally with ourselves, losing battles with our minds, allowing the mind to convince the rest of your body, heart, and soul to become fragile, sensitive, loathing, and weak. True confidence resides in the idea turned to action. The action resulting in a welcomed, life-changing realization. I can do this. I am ready. I am here now. And the only thing that can stop me from ascending is me. Consumed with purpose, confidence is a valuable support aid. It aids you in remaining centered in the moment, where a single moment of confidence has the potential to bring you closer to peace and happiness. It's not enough to be average if your mind is screaming for more. It's not enough to be settling in a relationship if your heart is screaming for more. It's not enough to be mediocre when your body is screaming for more. It's not enough to be content when your soul is screaming for more. Confidence is trust in yourself, your surroundings, your possessions. You trust they are all in your life for a reason, because they aid you while you grow a life of meaningful purpose. If it doesn't make you happy and aid you in your own self-love you have for yourself, it may be time to move on from that person, place, or thing. If you're not confident in your life and about your life, no one else will ever be as well. Your purpose is to grow. Grow. Live to love and love to live. Episode 8. Confidence to overcome the volcano. We have talked about many times overcoming the mountain and what that entails. When you have a challenge, you can face the challenge, you could run from it, you could procrastinate, you could get someone to try to tackle that job for you. You can try to buy your way out of the situation. You can try to talk your way out of the situation. But you know in your heart, deep down in your heart, when you know something is calling to you, a challenge, a goal, an opportunity, a relationship, and you aren't fully prepared for it. That's a horrible feeling. We're all human beings. We all get caught up in our feelings. But that's a very dangerous feeling, to know that certain things may pop up in your life and you are simply not ready for things that you should be ready for. Psychologically, we are all in our heads. We are always battling in our heads. Now, a lot of times we don't have the confidence to go out in the world and say, I need help. Because a lot of times we do need help. But just because you can ask for help doesn't always mean that should be your first priority whenever a challenge arises, especially if you've already done something. So let's say you found a mountain and you did all the work to not only face the mountain, you got up the mountain, you got down the mountain, you felt great, and you looked up, and now there's a bigger mountain, a volcano. And it's all you can do to say, I just got over the mountain. Do I really have to face this volcano? The choice is yours alone. Beneath your feet is a crossroads. You've been moving on your path, and you hit a spot where you don't have all the answers laid out in front of you. All the road signs aren't there. You're having trouble finding your flags of hope in the distance. It's blocked by this volcano. You have to get over it. The path is leading you right over it. It's not going around. There is no way to go around. You have to go over this thing. And it's going to be hard. You're going to be tired. You're going to be frustrated, disappointed. You're going to want to turn around. But what's behind you is your former self. You live in the moment so we can proceed forward. However, there aren't many volcanoes. There's only one. You just got to get over this one. You may meet another volcano in the future, but right now, this is your task. Life has that inherited in its DNA. Life is all about chaos and things happening all around us. For every person that is born right now, somebody is dying. For every person that's out there succeeding, somebody is failing. For every relationship that's beginning, there's a relationship that's ending. But it's not a finish line or a starting point for any of those scenarios. If you look at the world in its continuity, you will see that it's just all a continuation of the same thing. You're just up to bat. It's your turn to take on one of these roles. The question of happiness has to come from you and your definition of what you want from your life. If the definition of happiness for you is to be alone, congratulations. If you're alone, you succeeded. If solace is your thing and silence is your thing, where you just want to be off alone by yourself, you have every right to do that. If that is what you were called to do and there's something you're doing that no one else understands, that's none of your business. Just go do it. You're here to grow. A huge chunk of your purpose pie is growth. And we can sit here and say over and over and over again to ourselves that our role to play isn't that important. And that couldn't be further from the truth. Whatever it is that you're doing is damn important. Whatever chunk of that purpose pie that is there, your meaningful purpose pie, you have to try to do something with that chunk. Otherwise, it's a waste. You're wasting that slice of pie. And there's other people out in this world who are fucking hungry. They'd be happy to eat it. So that takes us back to gratitude. What do you have to be grateful for right now to build upon? Why are you in a situation where you're feeling like you aren't succeeding? And how did you get to this place? Why did you get to this place? We don't ask enough questions as human beings. We're afraid of the answers. And some of the problem with people who are afraid of the answers is that now they're stuck in this mode of either running or they're standing still and not doing anything. They certainly aren't going forward, and they are certainly not ascending. They are essentially a utopian tree. They have just enough, and now they're good. They're going to stay right there. If that is what their birthright is calling for them to do, then in that sense, they have succeeded. Again, we're talking about how people feel about their lives individually. But once you make that decision, you can't now project that onto other people. You have to own your own shit. You have to say, I made this decision at this crossroads to do nothing. I made a decision to do nothing. I have to own it. I have to own it. You have to own every single decision you make. And if you keep making these bad decisions or decisions that get you nowhere and you get unhappy about it, you have no one to blame but yourself. Because often in relationships in particular, we'll go to a family member and hope they help us get out of this situation that we chose to be in ourselves. We'll go to our partners and ask them, hey, could you please help me here? And while you're screaming and clawing and trying to get all this help from people, you're not understanding that no way is there going to be an issue with somebody helping you if they see that you're helping yourself. The issue is going to arise when people see that you aren't helping yourself. That the very things that you're screaming about, it started internally with you. Whatever you're screaming at to other people, that's a projection of what you're screaming to yourself in your mind. And confidence is being able to quiet that noise and say to your mind, we don't have to go through this song and dance. You can replay these stories all you want. You know what I'm capable of doing. I'm going to change this up right now. But nice try. I appreciate the effort. It keeps me sharp. The people who can't control that kind of thing in their mind, they don't have any self-control, they lose control. And they lash out and they project. And this is when people start to get dangerous. And this is when people start to be, in their eyes, they are living a life that they feel they have defined themselves as their lives up to that point is a success. It's been a success. We have, this person says, I have everything I need. I have my house. I have my wife or my husband. I have my children. I have my car. I have my bank account. Everything's good. Why am I still unhappy? Why am I really afraid to do the things that I feel like I want to do? Now, maybe that has come from people telling you that what you're doing is not good enough or what you're doing is irrelevant. But either one of those answers don't work for you. It's not good enough for you to not move forward with what you feel, truly feel, and trust yourself to be in life. It's not irrelevant for you to feel you are of high value, that you have something to give to this world. But we stumble backwards and we fall back into being comfortable and we lose confidence. Because every time we have a chance to act and we don't do that, every time there's a goal and we don't make it, we lose confidence. We get negative feedback from people. We lose confidence. We lose confidence when we don't wake up on time to get to a particular place. Doesn't seem like a big deal, but it adds up. That's why self-discipline is so important. In order to reach a goal, you have to be disciplined. And you can't be disciplined about something you're not passionate about. And you certainly cannot be disciplined about something you have no confidence in. You don't have confidence in yourself and you don't have confidence in what you are doing. So how do we turn this around? We turn it around by you starting with what the confidence issue is in the first place. And that goes to you asking yourself questions. What is it about yourself that you don't understand? Because if you don't understand it, how is anyone else going to understand it? How can you communicate to other people what you want out of life or what you expect from them? How can you set up healthy boundaries for yourself if you don't even understand what a healthy boundary for yourself even looks like? When you're sure of yourself, that turns into self-love. And that's when stuff starts to happen. That's when life starts to change in your favor. You start feeling like you have control of your own little world. And the things going on outside of it, you can control a lot more than what you thought. You'll never be able to control everything. But you damn well can control your actions and your thoughts and your intent. You can ask for other people what you're doing. You feel good about walking up to someone and say, hey, can you give me a hand? Because they know you've done the work for yourself. You understand and they understand why it is you felt the need to ask. They feel if you asked, it must be important. It must be something of value. And I'm going to also get something out of it. This whole world is all about that. Meeting value for value. It's part of the human DNA. We love to put things in little boxes. And we like to put up boundaries and we like to put up safe zones. Everybody wants to feel safe. It's instinct. It's part of who we are. Which is why if you want to feel safe, you got to find something about yourself to focus on and get that right. And when you get it right, when you feel you're in a healthy place with that, you don't just throw it away and say, oh, I got that. You have to revisit it. That goes back to self-discipline and self-control of your actions. You have to know when you reach that volcano, I can take this volcano. I know I can do it because I just went over the mountain. You didn't come off the mountain, get down in the valley and stay there for 25 years and then say, now I'm ready to tackle the volcano. You want to build on the momentum that you set for yourself. And that's another reason why I always push for self-discipline, for self-control in people. Why I try to push that so much. We're doing the same thing every single day, even if it's tiny. The smallest little things builds self-discipline. And it opens up all this extra time for you to do the things you want to do. You'll find that you don't have time to waste time. You'll find that purpose pie will have a lot, much more slices than ever before. You just start noticing, wow, I have all these other things I have time to do. Now, how do I maintain it? How do I stay here? How do I protect this? Because this feels good. I'm happy. I'm confident. Life is going good for me. What could derail me? The sooner you can ask yourself those questions, when those real situations come in real time, the red flags will start to pop up because you've already visited this conversation in your mind. You've already gone through the scenarios. So no one person can come into your life and try to derail you. They're going to make themselves miserable trying to do that to you because you know who you are. And then once they feel like they learned you, they're like, okay, I got this person. The problem is they have not grasped the fact that they learned a person who was up to a certain point, but that person is still growing. You see this in relationships all the time, where someone's in a relationship with someone for maybe 1 or 2 years and they think they know everything about this person. And then year 3 comes around and the relationship just starts to decline. And the reason why that is because somebody in that relationship started growing or was continuing to grow. And then someone else is being comfortable and they're going the opposite direction. Or maybe they're both growing at the same time and they're going in opposite directions, which is fine. Not every breakup, not every failed relationship or any job that you leave has to end in a bad way, in a way where it's unhealthy and toxic and negative. You can leave on good terms. People who love each other leave on good terms all the time because they know what's best for them. So there's no need to be angry with the other person. They're both mutually understanding that we're not aligned and we just need to move on. And that's your birthright to do that. It's your right to be able to look at your purpose pie and say, I want to make sure I'm not wasting any of this. Because there will always be somebody who's hungry. They're starving. And here they come. And they're just going to keep eating you. I mean, they're just going to keep biting at you. They're going to keep getting out the knives and cutting on you. And they're going to make a meal of you. And when they're done, what do you think is going to happen to you? They're going to toss you away. Just like they would toss a dirty plate into the trash because they don't even feel like cleaning it. This is the type of things you can be prepared for in life. That's why that volcano, which I call the nemesis, anything that's something in your life that is in your way, an obstacle, something that is going to move you away from what you're supposed to be, something that's going to make you less confident, something that damages your self-love. That's a nemesis. That's something formidable that you have to face because you can't run from this thing. Because it's like a shark in the water. Once they smell blood, here they come. And it may be more than one. What are you going to do about it? You better be trained before you get in that water to deal with sharks if you're anywhere near a shark. So this is part of the problem. We get into this comfortable routine. And some people get into a routine of being comfortable for years. And then they think everything's good. Nothing bad would ever happen to me. Until their spouse says, I want a divorce. And then all of a sudden it's, oh, how'd that happen? That means somebody wasn't being heard in a relationship. That means if you're at your job and you have an employee, he's your best employee, she's your best employee, and all of a sudden, here's my 2 weeks. And the boss is like, where'd that come from? And the employee wasn't being heard. Because none of this stuff happens out of nowhere. When you start to get confidence, you start letting people know, whether it's even with words or through action, they should start to be able to pick up that something has turned the corner with you. Because you'll start to be happier. You're getting up earlier. You're going to bed on time. You're getting rid of bad habits. You're smiling more. You're learning and laughing and leveling up every day. That's when you know you're happy. When that starts to go away, it's a red flag. And then you have to say, okay, I'm going to pick this flag up and I'm going to examine it. What's going on here? Why aren't I happy? Because if you're not happy, other people are picking up on that. Unless you're like a really, really good person who's dealing with issues with being fake, and that's a whole nother subject. When you're confident and you're ready to tackle things every day, and you're not afraid of the volcano, you're actually looking forward to it, that means you really aren't going to fail even if you did. Because when you attack something, when you're saying, I'm going to get on this, for one, you're creating an opportunity to get more things done because you're not procrastinating, which means you have more time. With attacking it, you're much more likely to put together a better game plan. You're also building trust in yourself because you are taking a risk by attacking a situation like that. But you already know the benefits of it, the gift on the other end. It's just more bricks stacked on your wall of self-love. And the confidence. That confidence and trust, that's what ultimately is going to get you over the hump of that volcano. In life, when you trust yourself, once you start to do it, it's really hard to untrust yourself unless you sabotage what you're doing. And to sabotage what you're doing is not something that we take lightly, because people sabotage their own happiness all the time. They do it all the time. Some people know that they're doing it. Other people have no clue that they're doing it. But we've all seen happy people who start to turn dark, unhappy, and then they end up in depression. And sometimes, in worst case scenarios, I know I've been there, they take their own lives. And these were some of the happiest people we've ever seen. We all know people like this. We've all heard of people like this, and we've seen them in the movies. It's a real issue in life. That's why being happiest with yourself and who you are is the best starting point each day to remind yourself of. You remind yourself that your mind has purpose and your heart is at peace. Your body has power and your soul is ready to drive this vessel today. And you're going to get shit done. You're going to get shit done. And that breeds confidence. It's almost like an addiction. You look forward to adding more confidence to your life every day. You look forward to adding trust. But it starts with you first. Again, you have to pick that flag up, whatever is bothering you, and say, what is the problem here and how can I quickly fix it? Because I don't have time to waste time. And it is not your duty to make sure everybody else in the world understands what you're doing. You don't have time to convince other people either. If other people don't understand that the decisions you're making is coming from you trusting yourself and from self-love, they don't have a right to be in your life. They're interfering with your birthright. And you have to walk away and mean it. Jettison someone who is toxic from your life doesn't mean you just give them a pass the next time they pop back up. At some point, you have to walk away and mean it. And that breeds confidence. Taking action in the moment, knowing what you're supposed to do, and sticking to it. not compromising on your boundaries, not letting other people take your bright days and turn them into darkness because they're miserable. Not helping every single person that's out there to the point where you have nothing. Not taking up so much of your time trying to fix other people's lives and be their therapist and make them happy at the expense of all those things for yourself. Companionship is something that is extremely valuable. When two people are able to get things out of each other, that is a good fit. It helps each other grow. Same with a job, a church, any place that you go to, a school, any place that you go to, where there's people around that you have to see over and over and over again. Getting into a flow in a relationship with these people where they understand every decision you make is made because you're trying to grow. And you're fulfilling your birthright and you're trying to do the things in life that you want to do, that make you happy. The best that you can. That doesn't mean you have the world and your bank account is the biggest in the world and you have the best job and you have the best car and the best spouse and nothing's perfect. But you're grateful for what you have. And you're adding in new things every day. You're trying to learn, laugh, and level up every single day. You don't take no for an answer when it comes to your goals. You don't become mediocre and average because something gets too hard and you say, well, this is good enough. You push yourself. You have to keep pushing yourself. You don't get halfway up the volcano, see the top of it and say, good enough, bye. How good would it feel to know that you not only, when you get those thoughts, because we all get those thoughts, when you get those thoughts to give up, to push through it, and not only push through it, you just keep going. Rocky Balboa said in the movie Rocky Balboa, it's not how hard you can get hit and get knocked down. It's about how hard you can get hit and get knocked down and you get up and you keep moving forward. It's not about you being in pain and in chaos. It's about you pushing through that and you keep moving forward. That gives you confidence. That gives you a sigh of relief. That gets you in your meditation. You can say, oh, I cannot wait to get back to this challenge that I'm in or this situation that I'm in because I'm growing from it. It's making me a better person. It was tough yesterday. It was tough last night. A lot of pain, a lot of chaos. I'm hurting, but I'm here. It has not knocked me down. You get up and you keep moving forward. Everybody has a lapse. Everybody has days and weeks where we aren't feeling the greatest, where our trust has been shaken, our confidence has been shaken, but you have to keep moving forward. And it's easy to do when you've put yourself in situations where it's not so easy for you to run, meaning you can't run from yourself. So if you can frame everything in the lens of, I just have to focus on myself, because you can't run from yourself. You can try. People try to run from it. And this is where addictions happen. People run to drugs and alcohol and women and hobbies and things that, they take up time. But in the scheme of things, they're a waste of time. So you want to make sure, even if you like those things, there's nothing wrong with having them. But they shouldn't be all that defines you. There should be much more to you than those things. And the purpose in life is to try to get to a point where things are meaningful, where everything in your life has a purpose. Everything that you do throughout the day is for a reason and it's not wasted. Even your relaxation time. Men, when we go down to our man cave, how good does it feel when you've earned that man cave time versus just standing there all day and ignoring all the things that you should be doing just for some man cave time? How good does that beer taste when you get home from a hard day's work versus sitting around all day not doing anything? Ladies, how good does it feel if you're into fitness or you into your job or whatever it is that you do, to come home and stretch out and be able to watch your favorite show or to cook your favorite meal, knowing you did everything that day up until that point that you wanted to do. You hit those goals. You got those small victories. You do that day after day after day after day. You commit to something. You get that routine in your mind, you get that pattern going, your frequency is going to be super positive. And you don't have to worry about what everyone else is doing. At this point, you're so in control and focused of your life that the relationships in your life become easy. The people who get you and they get themselves and they're working on themselves and they're happy with themselves and they're doing the same thing. Value for value, investment for investment. Now you are aligned and now things can happen. You realize not only am I doing great, but I'm attracting all these other great people, all these other great situations. Things just start to happen. But you got to stop talking about it and you got to start walking. That volcano is right in front of you. You can't just keep turning around and look at what you conquered behind you. The mountain is great. It was a great mountain. You did great on it. But that's in the past. It doesn't exist anymore. That is now a memory. That is a story. A story that most people don't even care about. Just because we put things individually, internally on a pedestal doesn't mean everybody else has that pedestal as high as you do. Just because we raise the bar in our minds doesn't mean that bar is anything to someone else. Somebody else can come over and just basically barely pick their foot off the ground and go over your bar. And to us, to each individual, that bar was set really high. It doesn't matter that the person beside you can just step right over your bar. The important part is you keep raising it. That bar keeps going up. You keep ascending in life. Confidence is all about repetition. The more you do it, the more you trust yourself, you can and will do it. And the more you do it, the more confidence you're going to keep. And then it will be hard to get rid of it. Once you get self-discipline, it's really hard to break out of it. It would take something big to break you out of it once you're into it because you realize all the benefits from it. You're so appreciative of all the people that will come into your life. You're aware that when red flags pop up with people, you know not to waste time and to move on. If it's not working, it's not working. If the job is not working, it's not working. If the church is not working, it's not working. If the animal that you got is not working, it's not working. You don't just keep standing there and watch a situation in your life just keep erupting like that volcano. You have to face the nemesis. You got to keep slicing up that purpose pie. Or someone is going to come around and they're going to tear you down. They're going to leave you bare. And they're going to leave. They're going to toss you to the wolves like a piece of meat. The only way to really protect yourself in life is to know who you are. You must know who you are and why you are. You have to live in the moment. You are here now, and there is no end. That volcano is just another obstacle. It's another challenge. It's another nemesis. And confidence comes from being brave, bold, and full of courage to face it. You want to overcome that volcano? Find a way each day to trust yourself a little more, to grow a little more each day, to learn, laugh, and level up every single day, to live to love and love to live every single day. It's your birthright and you deserve it. Your mission for today is to take the time to actually silence out the noise for however long you need. If it's 5 minutes or it's 50 minutes, take the time to not only do a check-in, but to ask yourself difficult questions internally. You can speak them out loud if you wish, but go someplace comfortable where you're alone and you actually have time to dive in and take it seriously. Go in your mind and ask yourself questions. The ones that pop up in your mind. Don't try to force it. Don't try to silence or mute some of them because they make you feel uncomfortable. The whole point of the exercise is whatever's popping in your mind, say it out loud. If you don't want to say it out loud, keep breathing and focus on whatever it is that's popping in your mind. Whatever it is, it could be good, it could be bad, it could be ugly. But focus on your thoughts. Intentfully focus on them. And find out what's really in your mind and how that affects your heart. And how does your body feel when some of these stories are going to play in your mind, these questions that play in your mind during this exercise, how it affects your body and your soul. Do you feel confident? Do you feel loved? Do you feel you're truly empathetic? Do you feel you truly are going to meet those goals? Do you feel you truly do have an opportunity to grow, to be happy? Or are you just bullshitting yourself? The goal for this mission is to not bullshit yourself. To listen to yourself. To go to a place that makes you happy. And if there are things in your mind that are making you unhappy at that moment, it's making you tense up and fearful, remember them. That's your nemesis, and it's time to face it. You cannot grow under the foot of a monster in life. You have to free yourself. This is your day. You are here now. These are your moments. You own them. You are brave, bold, powerful. You do believe in yourself. You know you have more in the tank. You know the glass is half full. There is still more room for improvement. There is no end. Believe, believe, believe in yourself. You do believe in yourself. You do believe you can do whatever it takes to get the job done. You don't procrastinate. You don't embellish. You don't lie. You're true to yourself. Peace is in your mind. Peace is in your heart. Peace is in your body. It is definitely in your soul. You are greatness. You have purpose. Intentful purpose. You are here for a reason. You are ambitious. You are loving. You are kind, empathetic, compassionate. You are self-love. You have self-control, self-respect. You are joy, peace, freedom, happiness. You are connected to everything in this world and in this universe. And if no one has told you this today, I love you. You deserve to hear that. Salute to you all. The brave never fall. Learn, laugh, and level up.